Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. Great day. How's it going? Let's see who's going to come in the room today. I got a message for my brothers. I got a message that I want to share with my brothers. I got a message I want to share with my brothers being labeled as men, right? Those that choose that label. So today I just want to say to you, thank you. Thank you for being our counterpart. I want to say sorry. I apologize. I apologize for not always recognizing that you also have some level of discomfort, pain, disharmony, and confusion about who you actually are and how you can contribute and should accept and should provide and should display. I want to say be empowered. Be empowered to dive deep into who you are as my counterpart, as my mirror, as my joy, as my son, as my lover, as my friend, as my partner, as my warrior. Yeah, this is to the men today. I want to really talk to the men today, and I want to remind you that I am just so honored. This comes from me looking at pictures and preparing for the men's retreat that's happening in September. I was looking back over some images and to know that I have been honored with the opportunity to serve men as they restore themselves back to the wholeness of their true divine masculinity. People throw that word a lot around a lot and they have no fucking clue what it really means. They have no fucking clue. It's just a cliche to help them, generate some likes and some recognition. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the room, Mr. Lee Jam. How are you? David, welcome to the room. But this is for the men. This is for the men that I'm talking to today. Women, you can listen because it will help you possibly with your man or your son or your brother or your father or your uncle or your friends, your community members. Hey, William, at this point, we just have to remember that we are both equal, yet just as perfect, just as possible, just as perfected, opposites in perfection. I'm going to say that again. We are complete, opposite, yet perfected imperfections that mirror each other. So I can't have one. Thank you, determine. I can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. There isn't a dominance. There isn't a thing. So I'm going through these photos and I'm watching how these men are putting their heads in my lap, not because I told them to, or they're falling on their knees, or when they're hugging me and they're shaking and they're crying and they're pouring out their hearts and they're telling me the things that they want to heal and they want to restore back in their lives. And I sit here and I say to myself, I say, how did I get this honor to serve in my role as divine high priestess, mother, life? So I extend this to all the men today and I say to you that I love you. I'm proud of you. I see you. I hear you. I understand that sometimes the words that you want to speak become conflicted by the images that are shown in society or in your immediate circles or maybe in your family life. I apologize for people trying to trap you into some identities and some behaviors that have nothing to do with who you are as a divine masculine energy. I apologize that sometimes we keep you in that power and we try to control the future so that we can ensure success because we're not certain if you're going to be able to fully embody all of who you truly are. I want you to really, really, really embrace this because I truly love you. We need you. I honor you. I trust you. I know that even sometimes when you don't trust yourself, I trust you. I know that even when you don't feel like rising up, you still rise up because you know that there's work to be done and you're going to put forth an effort even when you're uncertain. And I'm here to say that I'm going to work to continue to share that that, yeah, we just need to let you be sometimes. Sometimes we need you to mirror us in our creativity. We need you to mirror us in our nurturing. We need you to mirror us in our expansiveness. We need you to mirror us in our peace. We need you to mirror us in your trust, in your vulnerability. So I'm honored. I'm honored as I looked at these photos today and I said, I'm going to go live and I'm going to tell as many men as I can that I appreciate you. It doesn't matter. I know some of y'all be on bullshit, but the bullshit is in reaction to the things that you don't understand and not aware of, because people don't take the time out to take you through the passages of rights that you need to understand who you really are and your divinity. I get it. I get it. It's tough. It's not what you were expecting. What you saw when you saw Shaft, when you saw Black Panther, when you saw any other superhero. There weren't many of them, but when you saw them, you wanted to know. Dolomite, even Dolomite craziness was about empowering and recognizing that we should be able to have unlimited options, even in the comedic areas. If you go back and look at it, it's really challenging the social parameters. all of us, all of us that are here today, all of us that are here today, I know for me, I want you brothers to hear me, hear me. I've heard you, I've felt you. It is a humbling experience. And so I invite you to allow another feminine divine woman that is in your midst to nurture you, to see your vulnerability. Trust her, allow her to access your divinity without a fear. Allow her to hear your stories. Allow her to help you take away your fears. You all are equally powerful, equally imperfected, equally perfection simultaneously. And I will end with this on this topic. The sun and the moon both are required for life. When the sun is shining, the moon is somewhere else shining, and vice versa. And when they come together, they are awesomely powerful that scientists tell us not to acknowledge it, not to look at the sun, look in the sky when there's an eclipse, a lunar or a solar eclipse. And here's the thing I want you to get. They always have to come together. No matter how much time they spend apart, they are always pulled back together to create a lunar or a solar eclipse. There are times when the sun is at the highest point, and that's the solar solstice. And there are times when the moon stands out longer, and that is the winter solstice. Then we have the autumn and the spring, but we're going to talk about the high points. Consider nature when you consider your relationship and nurture it. Welcome. Consider that. Thank you for the follow. Consider that when you are connecting to a person, you're just not connecting because they have a girl part and you have a boy part. You're connecting to them because there is a synergized energy that is pulling you together, and it is your purpose to find out what that energy pulled together is about. Create a lunar eclipse where maybe she has to lead in that moment, or is it a solar eclipse where he has to lead? There's never a competition, but always an exchange, always a sharing, always a growth, always a contribution, always creating life and sustaining life. Even if it's just for people to see the two of you in the same space, interact. All things, all persons, all situations, all conditions are temporary. Remember that. Don't let your ego distract you, brother. Don't let fear deny you, brother. Allow yourself to live. Allow yourself to enjoy. I'm looking forward to this next event with the brothers as I'm putting together this album for the slideshow. And if you don't know what event I'm talking about, I do retreats for men and women and couples. And the retreat that's coming up is the Warrior Restoration Retreat. If you go to my page, it's somewhere. If you go to my page, it's a promotion about it or something, right? Or the link on my bio, you can click and it'll take you to it and you can learn more about it. But I didn't come on to promote it. I came on. Thank you so much, David. So when I'm looking forward to this retreat, sometimes well, y'all probably see the picture. I got nervous one year because we had over 30 brothers show up. Not just me there. I mean, I got brothers that's there because I can't handle some things that belong to a man, right? Some things that belong to a masculine energy I'm not aware of, because when I embody the masculine energy, I'm usually doing it in order to protect or to support my masculine and doing what he got to do, or taking the place of my masculine because he is incapable of providing what I need to have provided. So I don't really know all the true details of being a masculine, but I know how to implement it, right? When I have to protect, when I have to shield, when I have to deflect. That's my masculine energy, right? But I don't know the intricate details of being a masculine. Hmm? Just like when y'all embody the nurturing, the soft side, the creative sides, you can do that, but you really don't know how to embody the divine feminine. I know we're talking today. So yeah, so go if you want to find out more, but I'm looking forward to this retreat. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to supporting more men in having more peace, more vibrancy in their lives and their relationships on every level of their life, not just in a love relationship, but in their family. Some people heal wounds from their fathers, right? To watch a man come forward and say, my father was at home with me, but I never felt he was at home with me. And I was like, damn, like that's the kind of things you hear. But sometimes we forget that not only girls are abandoned and that it has an effect upon us as women when our fathers are not present or actively involved. Hey, Auntie. Hey, Key. But it also affects our men, our brothers. It affects y'all. I have a son, and I remember, I got divorced, my son recently, we talk openly. I talk with all my children. People say I'm too cool with my children, but we got boundaries. But I wanted to keep the door open for my children to be able to say whatever they wanted to say to me and ask me questions as long as it was not disrespectful. And sometimes they do get rowdy and loud and passionate, and I let them have their moment and then I correct them. So my son came to me and my son goes, Mama, I don't want to be like Daddy. And I said, what do you mean? I said, what are you talking about? He said, Mama, I don't want to be like Daddy and his father and da 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 da. And we went through this process. And I said, why you say that? He said, well, yeah, Daddy was around, and I love Daddy and I respect him, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad y'all divorced. I know it's a failure, but at the same time, it was a kind of failure that I'm happy about, because I look at our lives and I realize that probably if you would have stayed with Daddy, we wouldn't be where we are right now. But it still hurt me, Mama. I realized I've been self-sabotaging myself for the last 3 years because I was so mad at Daddy and so angry that I didn't understand who I was. I didn't want to develop because I didn't want to become him. Now that shit hurt me. That hurt me. It stung for a minute because in that moment I wasn't the high priestess healer, medium spiritualist, life alchemist and world international speaker. That wasn't me. I was sitting on my floor. I was sitting on my floor and my baby, 6'2", handsome, brilliant, was letting me know in all of his vulnerability that he had an epiphany about the power that he had withheld from himself and that he wanted to be released from that. And I had to just listen and I had to understand. That's what so many of us have to start doing as women, and so many brothers have to be like my son, and you have to find the vulnerable spots and find somebody that you can pour into. It should be your mate. She's just not a hole or a portal for you to access when you want release and hope that something great comes out of it. Oh, Auntie, I believe it. I believe it, Auntie. I believe it. Deeper consciousness, welcome. That in that moment, I had to really, hey, Jesus, I had to really, 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 really think about what that meant. So we had a deeper conversation. And I had to remind my son that you are a uniquely divine individual, that you have your own assignment. And while your father and I were the vessels that were utilized to bring you forth, we're just your handlers, and that your purpose, your contribution to this planet should not be predicated upon the actions of those handlers or those vessels that you came through. Because see, for that particular son, when I didn't even know I was pregnant, I had a vision. And the vision showed me being pregnant and me going, why? I'm trying to get away from this man because this man is on a low frequency. I got shit to do. Da, 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 da. And I walked away. And when I walked away, I was taken into a room that had a white couch trimmed in gold. And behind it were my great great grandfather all the way down to my father. And then the same thing on his side. And they turned the couch around, or the couch around. And when they turned the couch around, my son was laying there. And they said, this is why you cannot leave yet. We have plans for this family. Yeah. So I had to bring forth my son. So I knew that if my son was coming to me, my son that is somebody that already is gifted like me, but didn't understand it, that ran away from it, all these things. See, our men are divinely inspired too. It's not for them to use their gifts to manipulate. It's for them to use their gifts to when they unite with their true divine feminine, who is exhibiting her true, purest, honest, divine feminine, that they will create a solar and a lunar eclipse on a regular basis and shift the world, shift the frequency, break the things that are hindering their families for generations. They will begin to create wealth for the next 7 to 12 generations. They will begin to heal their bodies from diseases and discomfort and financial woes. This is what happens. This is what happens when we walk in our true divinity as masculine and feminine. Excuse me. See, they try to mess with my throat chakra because see, I'm healing somebody. This word is gonna restore some things in some people's lives. It's gonna elevate some relationships. It's gonna bring some harmony and some peace even more. So me going through the pictures from last year's retreat, the previous year's retreats with the brothers that brought me on to have this conversation is now allowing me to heal some people in their own personal lives. It's allowing some women to release some of the anxiety and angst and resentment and anger and frustration and confusion so they can open up themselves to have a real relationship with their divine masculine. Not just because of the way they look and smell, but the way by which they vibrate within you with their presence. Stop looking at our male children or female children and saying that they remind us of that pain that we had with their father or their mother. Let's take on the power. Let's take on the power of our divinity, and let's begin to take that energy, that emotion, that energy that is in movement coming across us. Let's take it and become women. We are the water. We're either going to allow that energy to be conducted, or we're going to let it just run across us. Water and electricity, think about that. Get that in your mind. What happens when electricity hit water? It just, or you can become an insulator and a conductor, and you can direct it where you want it to go, and you can control how much comes out, or you can transmute it. I'm just saying that's who we are. Thank you for the following. Thank you for being here. This is why I do what I do. I'm telling you, some folks do operate in low frequency vibrations. And when they do, you have to step away. Indeed, you do have to step away. But make sure that when you step away, that you have minimally made an attempt. You have to have made a honest attempt. You can't be minimal and walk away, because then the shit gonna haunt you. You're gonna have karma and other stuff happening. But when a person has a low frequency vibration, and you have determined what your purpose is, and you've made good effort to try to bring forth and fulfill that purpose, and is not working for you, then yes, walk away, and walk away quickly with intention. I got to share this cup with y'all too, since I'm sitting here listening. One of my clients gave this to me. They said you are my world, but not just my world. You're everybody's world. The way you just move in the group of people. I said, yeah. Look, I can sit on the floor with you. I'm good. Now if you got some roaches, I might have to sit on the porch with you. I ain't gonna stay in the house, and I may not eat nothing. But just because you got roaches don't mean you ain't clean. It just means you got roaches. So you can't leave nothing out. But if you cook it real fast and you give it to me, I might do it. Okay. Am I doing it? Am I acting up today, y'all? Am I acting up today? Right. So thank you everyone for being here. Yeah, so this is what we're talking about today. You know, honoring the imperfection, the powerful imperfection of our perfections as divine masculine and divine feminine. Complete. As a divine masculine, you are complete. As a divine feminine, you are complete. And we are imperfected each, but yet we are perfected. And when we come together, that is expanded upon. It becomes an exponential existence, an exponential um, experience. I'm telling you, it's a process. I'm humbled so much. But this is our conversation today because too many of us are dismissing. I don't need a man. I don't want a man. I don't want a relationship. It's because we are in disharmony. We have not fully understand. We're going off the physicality. We're looking at the physical characteristics, the phenotype or the genotype. But we're not looking at the spiritual aspects of who we are. Hmm? We're not looking at the spiritual aspect of who we truly are. It's real easy to say, hey, I'm a divine masculine, I'm your god, I'm a god, and you a goddess. But what the hell did that really mean? If you really understand that you are a god and I'm a goddess, that means the essence of God. If I'm your essence, then shut up trying to dominate me and tell me I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still your essence. The essence is what gives you power movement, brothers. So it's okay for you to come back and be vulnerable. It's okay for you to come back and humble. It's okay for you not to have all the answers. It's okay for there to be a collaboration. Sisters, it's okay to trust. But what I mean by trusting each other is that you have to be aware that you trust yourself. If you're not in harmony with your own divine feminine or your own divine masculine, it's going to be difficult for you to deal with somebody. We are not here to complete each other. We are here to complement and expand. I'm going to say it again. You are not here to complete another person. You are here to complement them and expand them. Let's run and tell that. Let's run and tell that. Hmm? Let's run and tell that. Hey, Afrocentric. I checked you out the other day. Hmm. I'm slowly getting to everybody that follows me. I slowly go back and I follow. If you think somebody else could benefit from these levels of conversations with the chat diva, come on through. I finally got my link tree up. I decided to go ahead and make it possible on the on my bio here, right? On my bio here, you can find out information about anything that I do, the retreats, the counseling, the coaching, the spiritual consults, things like that, spiritual things that I do. You can click the link tree, it'll take you there. The coaching page, it will take you to my coaching website, stuff like that. So my shop I haven't added yet because we're making some changes to the shop. So you'll be able to eventually. I'm slowly but not, because it will confuse you, it will confound you, and it will distract you. So that's what we're talking about today, understanding the divine masculine and feminine. Um, and brothers, when you come in, I'm telling you, you loved, you appreciate it. And I know somebody didn't tell you that. Just, like maybe you walking around like my son was and has to come back at 22 and be like, Goddamn, like I've been fucking off, right? But now that we understand that, I'm telling you, it's a humbling experience. I keep getting emotional because I remember a woman said to me, I don't want my husband in no group or in no event where no woman is running it. And I went to myself, I said, the biggest fool. You the biggest fool, but you'll send him to a man who will tell him that you ain't shit. Or you'll send your husband to a group of men that are hurt and wounded, that are not trying to heal. You're welcome, David. You will let your husband go to a group where a man is telling him to dominate you, to disconnect from you, to put separation between you, to dishonor your true connection and your true perfection and imperfection that complements and expands. Instead, he'll tell you that only he needs to expand and that you should be pouring to him. You should be, you should be doing something instead of we, y'all. I'm just saying, at what point do we happy Tuesday it is, Goddess. I caught a little bit of you today. You are such an illuminated being. If y'all don't follow Gullah Danny, she's look, she's a cousin, a Geechee Gullah cousin. Mm-hmm. Follow her, y'all. Follow her, y'all. Get y'all some insight. She also has a beautiful spiritual gift. She does Reiki, she does ancestral reading, she does bone reading. She like for real, she's Geechee Gullah in the full flavor. So follow her as well. Yeah, she's reminding me of things that I have forgotten about my childhood that are just beautiful, and I love it. I love it. So she's my cousin. Okay, we all kinfolk. We all kinfolk now. Okay, so yeah. Welcome. Hey, limited edition. Where you been? All right. So anyway, so thank y'all for being here. I'm just reminding y'all again that we are here talking about the divine masculine and feminine and how that is an exchange. And it came about because I was going through photos with someone to prepare a presentation regarding my warrior restoration retreat that's happening this September. And I started becoming overwhelmed with emotion because I realized, one of the pictures was a brother laying his head in my lap and I'm just hugging him. And then another photo was, seeing the men just crying and weeping. And then I saw a video clip of a brother saying that this experience that he had with us at the retreat was, he thanked me and then he thanked the brothers that were there that support me in healing the brothers. Because again, one of the realest statements that we have made is that a woman cannot teach a man how to be a man, but it's not about being a physical man. It's about the masculinity, the spiritual, divine masculinity. Like I said, when we take on the masculine, we're taking it on because it is a need for us to project. It is a need for us to support in being a warrior, a need to be in building something, right? That's what we're doing, solving a solution more readily, right? We still are feminine because we have that creativity, we have that intuition. We're able to do that, but then we're supposed to reduce it back down. Just like I said earlier, the sun and the moon both rise and do their own job, and then when they come together, they come back together. It's never a competition. You don't see the sun saying, "Oh, you've been up too long." Oh, the moon, you've been up too long. Oh no, you try to dominate me. No, it's not that. Sometimes there's a solar eclipse and sometimes there's a lunar eclipse. I'm gonna keep repeating this because I feel like somebody needs to understand that. Hey, Lovey. So that was a moving and a moment for me. It was very humbling for me, because I do have, I have four. Uh, two of them now are men, and then three of them are now men, and then one of them is in the process of developing. He's still a man child. Um, So I don't differentiate. They're all my children. If they come to me and they call me mama, that's who I am. Whether I gave birth to them or I was gifted them through a marriage or a relationship, right? And I ain't gonna get into how many nephews I got, right? How many nephews I got. Woo wee, and brothers. Gee willikers, right? So that's the moment. That's the moment that we pipe into. We get into the pipeline of feminine, divine masculine. Those are just terms people throw out there, but the reality is there really is you really are a divine feminine, but you may not even understand the full scale of what that means. That's why when people come to me for spiritual stuff and they say, "Well, what's my gift?" I say, "Well, you have all the gifts. The question is, what do you feel most prominent Do you find yourself having dreams that come true? Do you find yourself walking into a room and feeling things? Do you find yourself being able to know information? Do you sometimes hear something? Something told me, are you that person? Then we start working on from there, because that's what you're willing to accept in as your divinity that you can share externally. Do you see things, right? All of that is part of your divinity. That's why I started out by saying to the brothers, giving them an apology. And then after I gave an apology, I asked them to use that apology to go back and mend what they have to mend with the feminine divine that is in their lives, whether it be their mothers, their sisters, their lovers, their co-workers, their children. Healing is always appropriate. Connection is always appropriate, as long as it is not turning into something that is choking, stabbing, beating, or killing you. Literally. As I said, all people, places, situations, circumstances are temporary for a permanent purpose. It is our responsibility to identify what that purpose is. Thank you, Danny. Love you. Yes. Yes. My some of my clients was like, yeah, I caught your TikTok. And when I came in, it was like 10 people in the room. I was like, they don't know who she is. They don't know what she do. I said, that's the whole plan, right? On TikTok, the energy on TikTok is very different. Don't let numbers distract you. If you a creator on TikTok and you go off your numbers, having people in your room, you're gonna mess up. Learn how to repurpose your content. Like this video I'm doing, I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna block it up. I can chop it up. I'll find a piece and I'll share it, and it'll bring me some more revenue. You turn it into an ad, you turn it into a promotion, you turn it into a small little clip, right? And then you repurpose it. Don't get caught up. I don't know, that was for somebody in this room. Ooh, y'all got me using some other stuff up in here instead of talking about this divine. Hey, Willis, right? But this is what you do. You repurpose content. You got a book, break the book up and make it each chapter should be a workshop. Each concept, each main idea, just like going back to school. What's the main idea of the chapter? What's the main idea of this talk? What's the main idea of your music? You got to find a way to deliver yourself in a more expansive way, and never let somebody tell you you don't have enough experience. If you've gained the knowledge and the information, all you got to do is trust and believe that you have gained it, and begin to implement. And guess what? Nobody ever does anything perfect. That's why they call a practicing doctors, your medical practice, your dental practice. Because even though you may have a pattern or a prescribed way of doing things, there may be one case that comes in that throws you totally off, and you got to change the way you do it. Same thing in a relationship with your divine masculine and feminine. Just because your mom and daddy was a certain way doesn't mean that's how your relationship is going to be. Doesn't mean that's how your exchange with your divine masculine and feminine is going to be. It doesn't matter. Honor yourselves, honor yourselves, honor yourselves. Engage in the moment. Engage in the moment and the knowing of who you are and why you are doing what you are doing, because it is important. It is relevant to your growth and exchange. Absolutely, positively, so it is. Okay, they got something up at the top. Well, I think that's from last night, but if y'all want to do it, that's fine. I guess it's a microphone. So if somebody want to give out a microphone, that's fine. All right, right. I'm on here to expand the consciousness and the arising of people. Absolutely, positively, so it is. What you said. Hmm? What you said. Any thoughts, ideas from y'all? What y'all feeling today? How you living today? As a reminder, if you click the link, you can go click the link in my bio. I have a link tree I just created that connects you to some of my other places to learn more about me. Um, but I'm on here to only connect the people who needed to experience life in a different way this morning, to grow, to harness, to create, to expand, to deliver, to enjoy, to keep rising. Yep. Keep shining, keep connecting. That's it. That's the goal. That's the goal. There's gonna be a ebb and flow. If ever you get confused in your relationship, if there's an ebb and a flow, like like think about, find a picture of like a beach, and watch how the water comes up to the shore and it comes back. That's an ebb and flow. It comes up and comes back, and every now and then there's a couple of waves, and then you see what washes up on shore, and then sometimes it takes away some of the stuff it brought because it's not necessary, and then some things stay because they want you to look at it and figure it out. And you get a seashell and it gives you a little information, or maybe you pick up some type of life creation that has been washed ashore, and it gives you a little bit of insight into a world that you never really think of, but yet exists simultaneously as you're existing in yours. I'm just saying, y'all, it's a beautiful thing to live without, what did she say, limited edition, without limits, in full liberation, in full operation, that everything is available to you. Nothing is hidden, nothing is missing. All is available to those that choose to seek it and pursue it. And it's not about chasing. You don't have to chase the bag. I hate that, right? You don't have to hustle and grind. You just need to know that in your imperfected perfection, and in your written in your sacred script, is more than enough. And that your connections and relationships are sufficient enough to give you exactly what you need, when you need it, how you need it. And that in your emotional, mental, and your spiritual is in such a level of acuity and awareness and activation that you will make the right decisions and choices from these infinite number of possibilities for your present moment. And if by chance you do a mistake, you can always implement forgiveness and the new awareness and do it all again. Do it all again. Do it all again, because it's going to be all right. Kendrick Lamar's my boy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be all right. Yeah. Are we with you? Are we together? Are we honoring the spaces that we truly exist in? Do we really understand what it means when we say we are divine, when we say we in alignment with with creator? Are we truly understanding what it means for us to be able to hold the power within, to be a badass? I used to have this when I do coaching for like business women. I say, you a super mama badass. Super mama badass. Shut your mouth. Why do I say that? Because that's the type of language that people hear. They're like, "Are you a badass?" Because it's okay to be a badass because you're in rebellion, and so it's kind of like you sneak dissing, you sucker punching the world. But in reality, you shouldn't have to sucker punch anybody. You should just walk into your space and be who you are, and collect what's yours and contribute what you have to contribute, and walk away in joy. But this society, this world tells us to downplay who we are as divine, masculine, and feminine, and they place us in competition. So we're not able to honor the true power that is found in that. And so we begin to look for ways to validate ourselves outside of our current situation because we don't want to be vulnerable, because we can't trust, because we don't trust ourselves. That's why my conversation last week was about The best relationship is truly with yourself. And then I gave you ways on how you can have that. And I said, if you're having challenges in your relationships with people, on your job, in your personal life, in your family, in your friendships, in your community, look at how you treat yourself. When you get ready to buy yourself something, are you like, oh, I really need to pay this bill, but let me just go ahead and buy for myself. I'll take the consequence. Or do you say, you know what? I'm gonna go to I'm gonna take myself to the lake and just chill by the water today. And then you don't do it because somebody else call you and you go do what they want to do versus what you said you were gonna do. That's why you get in relationships and your person do you like that. Because you are setting the precedence, you are creating the reality. Your vortex is spinning a reality, so when their vortex mixes with yours, they're going to take on what you're doing. And if honesty is the area they're weak in and you're weak in that, that's why there's so much dishonesty and distrust. That's a whole nother conversation. Check me out for my class and you'll be okay. Mm-hmm. Anybody else love ginger? Ginger. So I used to pay for lemon ginger tea. But then I said, what are you doing, girl? You know how to use herbs. You can make your own stuff. So now I make my own little lemon ginger tea. Of course I use fresh ginger and dried lemons, and I put in some, well, this time I put chamomile. Sometimes I put what did I put? I can't think of the name of it. Sometimes I put a little bit of basil or something like that. It just depends on what I'm feeling that day. I really don't. Lemongrass I put in there too sometimes. I got a lot of herbs around, do yoni steams and herbal teas and stuff like that too for my clients when they come and spend time with me. Because I do a full body detox when people come to my retreats. When you come visit me, you living in my house, when you come visit me, I'm doing a detox on you. Hey, Craig. Yes, Afrocentric. I'm telling you, ginger is a very good cleanser, and lemon is too. Y'all know that detoxes and cleanses us. And yes, I put a little bit of honey in there. Yep, 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 yep. Don't come at me. I know I'm vegan and I still eat honey. I still use honey occasionally whenever I want to, whenever I choose to. You know why? Because it's my choice, my life, my journey. Yep, that's what I said. That's what I said. I didn't stutter. All I drink is ginger honey tea every morning. Yes, love it. Yes, love it. I get it. I get it. So just kind of keeping that energy going, keeping that power of ourselves going as divine masculine and feminine. And again, there's never a competition, there's never a dominance. Nobody dominates anybody. We are equally aligned and we are equally sharing our power when it is appropriate. As I said, some days it's a solar eclipse, and some days it's a lunar eclipse. Other days we just coexist together, equally in power, doing what we have to do, independently yet still connected. I know y'all ain't like that, right? That's when people say, oh, that's submission. Be submissive. No, submissive means that I understand that I'm shining over here doing my job and you shine over here doing your job. And sometimes you may come and have to have a solar eclipse, and I got to let you be a solar eclipse. And then there are times when you have to let me be a lunar eclipse. Look it up if y'all know what that means. Go look up a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse, and then you'll know why you should not be arguing about being a masculine or a feminine. In spirit world, there is no gender. Whole nother conversation. See, I'm telling y'all, that's why I say you gotta be careful on this damn TikTok. Because everybody got a platform once they get a thousand followers. And what they're sharing may not all be, it sounds good. And it might tickle your ear, it might tickle your heart, it might tickle you. Dwayne, hey, Dwayne. All right, Dwayne. I like that little phonetic speller. So you're chatting up with the Chat Diva today. Thank you for being here. Um, I'm going to say it now because I always get asked. If you follow me, yes, I will follow you back. I will even go to your page and check you out and try to like some of your videos. It takes me a little while. I do have a business. I do have a family. But I always get around to you. And if I like your services, chances are I'm going to try you out, especially if I think that your service could support me in in providing my services to my community. I will purchase something from you and utilize you. And the reason I would have to utilize you first is because before I can show you to my family, I got to make sure you're somebody that's quality, that's consistent. And if you're not consistent, I'll try to support you in getting to a level of consistency with what I have and my knowledge, my awareness, my resources, and then we move from there. We move from there. That's it. No harm, no foul, no judgment. There's never an obligation to do anything outside of make a connection and recognize it and move forward. And move forward. So anyway, thank y'all for being here today. Tell a friend, bring a friend. I'm usually here every day of the week. The only time I really don't get on is on Sundays, because that's when my honey grands come and see me. On Sundays, we still do that traditional Sunday. Really, it's Saturday and Sunday, but I get a little free time on Sundays, on Saturdays, because I still do my podcast on Saturdays, and I still do my mimosas and more with Marion on Saturdays too, sometimes for my Dining with Divas group. So definitely, I appreciate you being here. Men, if you enjoy what you said, please let some other brothers know that I'm here. Let them know about the retreat that's coming up in September. Women, if you want to come to a retreat, my next retreat is in January, and then the next one after that is in July. The link will tell you prices and get an idea of what we're doing and why is it important. And if you like what you heard, this is why I do what I do. This is why I do what I do. So I love and appreciate you. Why do I say the word love? Because I am love. I am love. I'm created as love. So because I am love, my vibrational frequency of love brought you to me. Therefore, you're mirroring me. You are connected to me. And so therefore, I love you because I love me and I see the love in you. Never get it twisted. And love has a variance of degrees, right? Love has a variance of degrees. Just because I say I love you doesn't mean that I value the love that I see in you. I may just value it as surface purpose. Hey, that's love. I see it. I don't want to do anything with it. I don't want to harness it. I don't want to develop it. I don't want to expand it. But I do love you and I do want to expand it. All right. So I'll talk to y'all again soon. Tell a friend, bring a friend. Thank you for being here with me today. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye-bye.